welcome to today's video. Today I will be doing a post review on my most recent finish, which is the Three Sisters from Diamondartclub. This is by the artist Lyra the Lavender Witch. This one came out during Diamondartclub's 7th anniversary sale. So what was that? June? July? Was it in July? I can't remember off the top of my head. But I knew as soon as I saw this one that I really wanted to work on it this Halloween season. So here it is. This one is a 55.6 centimeter by 78.7. It is a round drill canvas with 89 colors. This one had a lot of colors. We had 2 ABs and 3 fairy dust drills, so a total of 5 specials. And I'll talk about that in a second. I started this one on October 1st. I finished it on October 13th, so it took me roughly 12 days, although I definitely had a couple of days where I ended up not diamond painting, so it took me longer than I was expecting, but also maybe it didn't, because there were a couple of days where I just didn't diamond paint. I was honestly expecting to start this one and fly through it. Now, I liked it. I didn't love it. And I think part of that is because it was a lot more confetti heavy than I was expecting, at least for my tastes. Some of you might have worked on this one and you're like, there's no confetti. There was to me. And I was just kind of struggling to get into it. And I think some of my problem is I always start in the bottom right-hand corner of my diamond paintings because I don't like the feel of the plastic like on my arm. I'd rather have my arm resting on drills that are already complete. And the bottom part was just kind of muddy for me, if that makes sense. It just, I don't know, the colors weren't as fun. It wasn't as like engaging to be working on. It was kind of just like, ugh, okay, let's get through this so that I can move up the diamond painting. And definitely as I started moving up towards the top, I was enjoying it more and more. Actually, my favorite part of this diamond painting is the sky. I was loving working on this section. I actually see that I missed a drill though. Oops, I don't think that fell off. I think I missed placing that drill. But I loved working on this top part. I think the sky is just absolutely beautiful, and it's kind of peppered with the white AB, and I think that that was just so pretty, and I loved that charting decision by Diamonddartclub. But the rest of it was just kind of meh for me. Now, that's definitely personal preference for sure. All of the things that I say in my post review are generally personal preference, so please don't be offended. Some of you may have worked on this one and you think it's like your favorite painting ever, and that's fabulous. But it just, I don't know. But I will say, I do feel like I was in a little bit of a diamond painting slump just myself. Like I feel like I was in a little bit of a life slump at the beginning of October, if you will. And I think that that was definitely affecting my diamond painting time. Oh, hello, Luna. I forgot to close the door. That was definitely affecting my diamond painting time, and I just wasn't, I was coming home from work and normally I'm like, okay, let's go diamond paint. But instead I was kind of like, I don't really want to. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think that was this kit's fault. I think it was just more of a mental or physical thing for me personally. Now, what are you doing? What are you eating? You can't eat anything up here, okay? You gotta be a good girl. I'm gonna kick you out. I did run out of a color. I'll show you that in a moment. Okay, Liz. Sorry, guys. She's trying to eat things on the desk. I'll be on in a second, okay? Bye-bye. So I did run out of a color, which I'll show you in a moment. I also had a little bit of an issue with a couple of symbols, so I'll show you that in a moment as well. But something that I often talk about in my post reviews is the poured glue or adhesive quality, I guess you would call it. And for this one, I struggled with the poured glue a lot. This kit was very, very slippery. I had a lot of drills that just weren't holding as well as I would like them to. You know, I would place some drills and then I would move on to another color and just by like moving my arm, all the drills would shift. And that's just not enjoyable. Like, I don't love having to always adjust diamonds that I've already placed. And I did find that I was doing that a lot with this particular canvas. And it's interesting because I'm trying to remember the last Diamond Art Club I worked on. You guys know I work on a lot of Diamond Art Club paintings, but I remember saying like how pleasantly surprised and happy I was about the poured glue on that canvas. I just can't remember which canvas it is in my brain, so apologies for that. But I thought that that was like, okay, cool, like we're good to go. So I wonder if it was just like a one-off. Maybe I got I don't want to say a bad version, but maybe I just got a different version of the kit with the poured glue quality than others. If you guys worked on this one, definitely let me know. What was your experience with the poured glue? I just wish that it had been a little bit of a better quality. I don't want to say quality. I wish there had been more of it. Quantity, I guess. I wish there had been more of a higher quantity of poured glue. It just felt very, very slippery to me. Now, obviously, I know I could add poured glue. I don't have the Diamond Art Club adhesive. Maybe that's something I need to pick up in the future, because I know some of you have recommended it to me in the past. But I will say the poured glue or lack of poured glue wasn't enough to deter me from working on this kit. I was still working on it. I was just working on it in smaller batches. I feel like normally my sections are pretty large, and I just found myself wanting to work on a smaller section each day, which is totally fine. It's not a race of finishing a diamond painting. It's more so myself, because I plan what kits I want to work on, and I kind of have like a general goal of when I want to have a diamond painting finished by, and I did not meet that goal with this one. But I'll also say I'm not meeting that goal with the second kit I'm working on either, which I just kitted up on Monday. So I think it's a little bit more of a me problem than a diamond painting kit problem. So I just want to be clear about that. I'm definitely not like upset with this kit. I'm not disappointed in it. I'm not bummed that I worked on it. I still think it turned out really pretty. And when I was in the diamond painting groove, I was enjoying it. It was just the poured glue. It just wasn't very sticky, and it was a lot more slippery than I would like personally. Now, for the color that I ran out of, I ran out of 535, which I know it looks like I have drills in here, but those are from my stash. And I actually did not have color 535, so I went on to, what is the name of that website? I'll leave a link to it in the description. I've talked about it on my channel before, but it is actually a cross-stitch website where you can put in the DMC thread that you're using and it will pull up similar colors. So I did not have 535 in my stash, but the website said that 317 was somewhat of a close match, so I went for it. You cannot tell on the canvas where the 535 is versus the 317. I think the 535 had just a hint of a green tint to it, but you can't tell. So I did run out of a color. Obviously, I could have reached out to Diamond Art Club to have that replaced. I chose not to, and I'm totally fine with that. So I did run out of a color, and I ran out of it pretty early on. I ran out of it in this first row down here, so I'm not quite sure what happened there. I don't think there was a ton of it as I moved up, but I did run out of it pretty early in this bottom row. Something else that I did mention in my notes that I have here, if I can put these back, I mentioned that 2 of these drill colors, the symbols were pretty close. So we had 783 and 725. Now, looking at this initially, you might be like, Laura, what do you mean you had a hard time with that? I caught myself a couple of times when I would see this 783 symbol, I was grabbing for 725. Now, I think that that is for two reasons. First, they showed up very similar in color on the canvas themselves. This is obviously more of a yellow, and I would consider this to be more of like a marigold color, maybe, or like a sunflower yellow. But on the canvas, they looked very similar in shade. And you have to remember that on the canvas, these are pretty small, the symbols themselves. And just looking at this quickly, it looked like this triangle. So this might be a very individualized issue. Some of you are probably like, stop, they're fine, which is fair. But for me personally, I did mix these up a couple of times. It was more so that I was mixing up when I would see 783, I would grab 725 versus seeing 725 and grabbing 783. I don't know if it's because this is a little bit of an unusual symbol for me. Maybe my brain was just automatically defaulting to this triangle. I don't really know, but I wanted to mention it in case anybody else plans to work on this kit and maybe you also may get tripped up. Next, for my trash drills, I didn't have much, but I had some. And as I usually mention in my post reviews, my issue with trash drills usually comes into play if I run out of a color. I will say that the 535 color that I did run out of, I don't recall having a ton of trash. So I think that that was maybe just like a weighing error when the drills were actually put together. But most of my trash is just drills that have holes in the top. And from my experience with Diamond Art Club, that's pretty standard. I don't have a problem with that at all. It is what it is. You know, we're always going to have some amount of trash drills in our canvases. I don't feel like this was a huge amount. I think it was fine. And for the size of the kit, I'm pretty happy with the trash. As I mentioned, just in terms of what I really did enjoy with this diamond painting, I loved the sky. I think the sky is just absolutely beautiful. And like I said, it was my favorite part of the canvas. I'll pop up a full-length image for you guys here so you can see it zoomed out a little bit. I think that the drills are super, super sparkly. And I know that there's been some talk about Diamond Art Club having redone some of their drills, which I need to do a little bit more digging in, and I can definitely report back to you guys in the future if you're interested in that information. I'm sure you are, but let me know in the comments. These definitely seem a little bit different. I know that there had been a change, or there is a change coming with the pointiness of the drills. Like, these are not as pointy, but also they seem so much more sparkly. Like, the sparkle on this diamond painting is insane, and it's so beautiful. And overall, like, I did enjoy the finish. I think I prefer the Lavender Witch in Summer, which I finished at the end of August, I believe, by this same artist. That one was gorgeous. This one is beautiful as well. I love this artist's art style. I just thought, coming off the heels of that first Lyra the Lavender Witch kit, I thought I would just be absolutely in love with this one. And while I do really like it, I don't think it'll make it in my favorites of the year. So, oh my gosh, can you guys hear Luna running around outside the door? For my accessories, I used one of my custom colorway trays from Bijou Bliss. This is their orange tray with the purple interior. I got it with Halloween in mind. This pen, I don't know where it's from, and unfortunately it broke while I was using it on this diamond painting. And I have to tell you guys, it's been a long time since I've lost a drill pen, but I did save the piece. It's in here somewhere. At least I hope it's in here somewhere. I am going to try and repair it. Did I lose the piece? Oh no, I might have lost the broken piece. Well, I will try to track that down. I am going to try and repair it. As I just threw the single placer. If you guys can see, like, the tip part is so thin. I didn't even drop this off of my desk. I literally had it in my hand and I went to lay it down and I just, you know, dropped it a little bit and it chipped off. So that was unfortunate. It's a really pretty pen though. If I can find the shop, I will leave it down in the description box. I think they've closed though. I think I was trying to hunt down the shop for this pen a little bit ago and I couldn't find it. So I'll do my best. If I can find the pen shop, I will leave it for you guys in the description. For my putty, I used the candy corn from Enabler's Outpost. I don't know if they're making putty at this point, but I have a bunch of it, so I am going to continue using it. And then for my washi tape, I didn't have the perfect tape for this kit, so I used this just, you know, standard Halloween one. We've got jack-o'-lanterns and bats and witches' hats and all that fun stuff. And then I have my cover minder, which is from, oh, it's a good question. I don't know who this is from. I'm trying to think who has metal cover minders. I will try to track down the name of this shop as well, and I will leave it in the description box if I can find it. Sorry about that. I feel like they usually have a pretty good handle on where all my accessories are from, but for some reason this shop and the pen shop are escaping me, so apologies for that. But that is going to do it for today's Post Review Friday. Let me know what you guys think about this finish. Let me know, are you going to be working on this one this Halloween? I've definitely seen a few people working on it for drills and chills, so it is really pretty. I like the colors. I do think it turned out very cute, but personally not a favorite of the year, and that's okay. Not every diamond painting has to be your favorite. So that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope everybody has a great weekend, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!